All right, let's keep watching.
In this video, we're going to focus on three of the most basic elements or parts of geometry. They are points, lines, and planes. All right, we're going to start with points because they're about the simplest thing you can imagine in geometry. What's a point? Well, let me draw some for you. So these are points. They're just little tiny dots in space.
What are points? What are points? I'm going to pick the answer you think is best. What are points? Are they planets? Little tiny dots in space? Or are they pencil marks? Waiting on two more people. One more person. So far, we all think they are little tiny dots in space. Last person finish up. Perfect! Yes, points are little tiny dots in space.
They do a really important job in geometry. They help us describe specific locations in space, like the end of a line, or the corner of a square, or the center of a circle. But they won't really help that much unless we name them, because if I say, hey, look at that point over there, it's kind of hard to tell which one I'm talking about. I mean, they all look the same. So what name should we give these points? Well, let's see. How about art?
What name should we give the points? Should we call them Fred, Daniela, Marco, or should we just wait to find out?
Let's find out.
Go ahead and check out what you think. What should we name them? Let's check out our answers. What do we think? Someone wants to name it Fred. Someone wants to name it Daniela. Someone wants to name it Marco. But most of us just want to wait to find out. Okay, we'll wait to find out.
Archimedes and Beauregard, that'd be good. Maybe Charlemagne. How about Daphne and Einstein? Let's see. Fred and Guinevere, Hiawatha, and Icarus.
Do you think he's serious? Yes or no?
What do you do? No. I'm going to do no. You did both. I did yes. No, I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah.
Some people think he's serious. I did both. Most of us don't. One more person.
How could you cheat us? Yes.
Let's find out.
No.
Perfect. You know, on second thought, those names are kind of long and complicated. Why don't we just use the first letters of each name instead? There. Now if I say, look at point A, or look at point B, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
That goes in the alphabet.
Let's do that.
It does.
Let's just talk about point A and point B. If you start at point A,
Let's pause for a second. I want to remind you about if you have a question, you can click the hand and ask your question. I might decide I want to ask a question and have you give me a response or a thumb up or thumb down. So don't forget about those features while we're watching the video.
go to point B taking the shortest distance possible, you would have gone in a straight line. A line is the next most basic element of geometry. We name a line by the points that it goes through. For example, we would call this line AB because its endpoints, where it starts and stops, are points A and B. But technically, this isn't really a line. It's a line segment. What's the difference, you ask? That's a good question. A line segment has a beginning and an end. It starts starts at one point in space and it ends at another. A line, on the other hand, just keeps on going in either direction forever. Just like the number line keeps on going forever.
So what's the difference between a line and a line segment? What's the difference between a line and a line segment? Type in your answer. We'll look at your choices in just a minute. Some ideas. We've got some up here. Line. Not quite. Lines never stop, but line segments do stop. I like that answer. A line goes on forever, and a line segment has a start and an end. Ooh, I like the precise language going on there. Let's see. A line goes on forever, and a line segment goes from one point to another. That might be my favorite so far. That might be my favorite so far. You aren't quite sure? You can use one of these ideas as your own. A line segment stops, and a line goes forever. Isabel writes, a line just keeps on going forever, and a line segment has a beginning and an end. Isabel. Ashton writes, lines go forever, and line segments go only a little bit. Thanks, Ashton. Wait, one more person to click submit.
Who's that?
Make sure you click the orange button. Nice. And let's check out the rest of our choices that we have here. Libby writes, a line just keeps going forever, and a line segment stops at the end. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, what great answers, third graders. Samantha writes, the line segment stops, and line keeps going on and on. Cecily writes, the line segment stops, and the line just keeps going on. Great ideas, third graders.
Well, at least we imagine that it goes on forever. We can't actually draw a line that goes on forever. So here's what we do instead. To draw a line instead of a line segment, you just go past the endpoints a little bit. You put an arrow on both ends of the line to show that it keeps.
Flash question. What what do you put on the ends of a line to show that it goes on forever? Go ahead and submit your response. What do you put on the ends of a line to show that it goes on forever? What do you put on the ends of a line to show that it goes on forever? Spell the best you can. I just want to see if you're listening. Let's see what our friends have written. Arrows, 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 arrows. 2 arrows, points and arrows. Arrows, you show an arrow to show it goes on forever. Arrows, dots. Arrows to show that it goes on forever. You put little arrow things or points. Arrows, an arrow to go with the little bit at the end. I don't know, at least you're being honest. A left point and a right point. Okay, so there's lots of people who said arrows and some people who said points. So let's think about that. Should we only put points to show that it's a line? Or does it have to have the arrows? Okay, 3 years, it has to have arrows. If it doesn't have arrows, what is it?
A line
A line segment, right, Isabel?
So I'm going. So this is line segment AB, and this is line CD. Now there's one more special type of line that we need to talk about, and it's basically a combination of a line segment and a line. We call it a ray. Rays have beginning points, but no ending points. They just keep on going forever, but only in one direction. So we only put an arrow on the end that keeps going. There. We call this one ray EF.
A ray has, what does a ray have? It has 2 things. What are those 2 things that a ray has? Our responses will come up. If you're not sure, you can borrow someone else's idea to help you out. Dots, it does have dots. A pointer. I wonder if we can elaborate on that a little more. It has, the sides of a ray are different. Look at one end and look at the other end. An arrow and one arrow and 1 dot. I think this might be my favorite right now. 1 arrow and 1 dot. This one's also great. Thanks, Isabel. An arrow to show which direction it's going. A ray has a start and no end. I like that. So there's part of that that I want to clarify. So we start on one end, it doesn't go anywhere, and it only goes in the other direction. Let's see. Get along the terms of as what Samuel is saying, a line, a beginning and no end. It has a line and a line segment, 1 arrow and 1 dot. A point or the line segment, and it keeps going on and on like a line. A beginning and 1 arrow at the other end, other point, to show that it continues. Thanks, Ashton. Hunter says, only 1 pointer and a dot that points one way. So, thirds, if you can imagine it like this, a ray is like half of a line segment and half of a line. You can think about it like that. Half a line segment and half a line. Some of our quick questions, our viewer questions while we're waiting. What does it make? I'm not sure what we're talking about. What does what make? Esther, can you clarify? Not sure? I don't get it. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm hoping by the end we can clarify your questions. How long does it take to get from point A to point B? We've got a joker in the crowd. We don't need to know the man's name. Why is it